many accidents I've had in my life. I've had a few serious ones where I've ended up in hospital. Traffic accidents are the worst, they're always painful. I haven't had too many work-related accidents. I suppose that's because I do office work and that's not so dangerous. Most of my accidents are those around the house. I've lost count of the number of times I've hit my thumb with a hammer. I'm also really good at standing up and hitting my head on something. I'm not as bad as my friend though. He's a real accident looking for somewhere to happen. Almost every time we meet, he has some story to tell about his latest accident. He's quite unbelievable. I think I'd be very worried if I were his mother. Being an actor must be great. I really wish I could act. I'd love to have the confidence to act in front of people. Being a member of the audience at the theatre is great, but acting on stage is better. I wonder what it's like to be a movie star. I think you need to be beautiful or handsome to be a successful Hollywood or Bollywood actor. They all look great. Actors are very lucky. They get paid huge amounts of money to do what they love doing. My favorite actors are all dead now. I really like the actors in the old black and white movies. They all looked so cool. Actors in the old days seem to be more glamorous than today's actors. The best thing about being an actor is that all of your friends are famous too. What is advertising? Is it telling the truth or is it making things look better than they really are? Or is it lying? Companies pay a lot of money for adverts. Some of the ads you see in glossy magazines look like art. The commercials on TV look like mini-movies. Do they really change our behavior? Do adverts make you buy things? I think some advertising is a form of lying. Is BMW really the ultimate driving machine like they say in their ads? British Airways used to say they were the world's favourite airline, but had to stop saying it because it wasn't true. Personally, I get tired of watching ads on television. They always interrupt a good program. I like ads in magazines. They're usually quite interesting. I don't know what I would do without my friends' advice. They've all given me so much good advice over the years. It's sometimes very difficult to make decisions on your own. Listening to advice can be great for helping you make the right decision. The greatest piece of advice I've received was from my father. He told me I can do anything in life if I try hard. He was right. I'm now passing on his advice to my own children. Right now I need some advice on money. My financial advisors are telling me to be very careful. That's very sound advice. I would advise anyone to do the same. Someone asked me the other day about the worst piece of advice I've ever had. I couldn't answer. I don't think I've had any really bad advice. Airplanes are amazing. How does something so big and heavy get off the ground? I'm always amazed at how the millions of different parts work together. Traveling by airplane is always a wonderful experience. I don't care whether economy class is cramped and has no space. I like playing with the in-flight entertainment system, especially now they have all the latest movies. I also love airplane food. Many of my friends say it's disgusting, but I love it. I often ask the passenger next to me if I can have the dessert or roll they don't want. The only thing I don't like about planes is turbulence. When the airplane hits those air pockets, I always worry we'll crash. But I once read that turbulence has never caused an airplane to crash. Aren't airports strange places? There's so much happening in them. People coming, people going, people crying with sadness because they're going away, people crying with joy because they've arrived. Big airports are almost like small towns. It seems like you walk across a town by the time you check in and get to your departure gate. The thing I like most about airports is people watching. There are people from all over the world. I also like how everything fits and works together. You check your luggage in and then it disappears before you see it again at the next airport. I still think airports need improving. There's not a lot to do there. Airports really need to have an entertainment area so people can kill time. I hate alcohol. I really don't understand how or why people drink it. The smell of alcohol on people's breath is disgusting. It's expensive and it gives you a bad headache. I drank when I was much younger, but I haven't touched a drop for years. I hated hangovers, so I decided to stop drinking altogether. I have a much better time without alcohol. People say they need to drink to relax. They drink and just act and look stupid. Their face goes red and they can't walk in a straight line. Alcohol is also the most damaging drug in society. That's what I think anyway. Alcohol causes many illnesses, traffic accidents, fights, and domestic violence. If you banned alcohol, people would be healthier, richer, and have a better family life. There are aliens out there somewhere. I strongly believe this. Not sure what they look like though. I really doubt they are green like they are in science fiction movies. I also don't think they look like us. But I'm sure they exist. I just don't think we'll ever see any or find any. They live too far away. If you think about it logically, there has to be aliens out there. All a planet needs is to be warm and have water, and life will exist. There are billions and billions of planets in the universe, so there are probably millions and millions that have life. Alien life. It's also likely that some of the aliens are much more intelligent than we are. I wonder what we'd do if really intelligent aliens visited Earth. What would we ask them? I'm a real animal lover. I'm fascinated by the whole animal kingdom. I loved animals when I was a kid. I used to read every book I could find on animals. I knew all the different animal species. The most exciting thing for me was going to the zoo. I would spend hours just watching the animals walk around, sit, or even sleep. When I was older, I went on a safari to Tanzania. I saw real wild animals in the wild. Everyone should do this once in their lives. Looking at animals in their natural habitat is a real honor. Now I'm worried about the future of many animals. Some of my favorite animals are in danger of dying out. We really need to change our lifestyle so our children can have the chance of seeing animals in the wild. The other day I saw an advert on the internet asking for volunteers to test a new skin cream. It was an anti-aging product. How is it possible for a cream or lotion to stop us looking old? I don't think any skincare goods can make us look younger. I certainly don't believe cosmetics companies that say their expensive creams can remove wrinkles. They just want to make lots of money. Why do people believe them? How do they know their creams work? They did not test their products on thousands of people over 50 years. I think if a person uses an anti-aging cream for 50 years, they would not even look a year younger when they are 60. This means it's a huge waste of money. Only healthy living can keep us looking younger. In the USA they're called apartments, in the UK they're called flats. They are a modern invention. I don't particularly like them. I don't think it's good for so many people to live so close together. It's not good for people to live on top of each other. I don't understand how people can live above the second floor. It's not natural to live in the sky. The thing I hate most about apartments are the lifts, Americans say elevator, and the fact there's no garden. More and more people are moving into apartments. This creates problems with overcrowding. There aren't enough spaces to park your car, there's nowhere to throw your rubbish, and you have to wait ages to reach your floor. Give me a little house with a little garden any day. I'm a great art lover. I look at beautiful paintings and sculptures and wish I could be artistic. I can't draw or paint to save my life. I wonder why some people are so talented and can create amazing pictures when other people, like me, can't even draw good matchstick figures. I would like to fill my house with art from all over the world. It's interesting to see how different cultures have different kinds of art. There's nothing better than visiting art galleries when you go to another country. I prefer more traditional art. I don't really understand a lot of modern art. I look at an exhibit of a pile of bricks in a museum but can't see how it's art. I always laugh when my children say, "Daddy, I can do better than that." I often think they can. Autumn is such a cool time of the year. Of course it is cool because the temperatures drop after summer, but it is also cool because it's such a great time of the year. I love the changing of the leaves. The different autumn colors are one of nature's most beautiful scenes. Sometimes I can't stop looking at the mountains near my house. They are like an artist's palette of golds, reds, yellows, browns, and other autumnal colors. In America, they call autumn fall because that is when the leaves fall from the trees. I like the coolness of autumn. Summer is over, but you can still wear a t-shirt, just about. You can also spend hours outdoors without sweating. Autumn is the best time of the year to go hiking and go for long walks. Most people know the word avatar. Perhaps we all saw the movie with the same name. Avatars are becoming a normal part of our life. Well, I should say our online life. Almost everywhere you go on the internet you see avatars. Sometimes it's a website asking you to make an avatar, and other times it's people's real avatars. Do you have one? Or two or three? I see a lot of avatars that are kind of cute and look like Japanese anime. One of the most popular things is to choose an animal as an avatar. I always take a long time to choose my avatar. It's important to make one I really like. It has to be funny. I also like avatars that move. All of the best avatars I've seen move. They are usually very funny and clever. I loved babysitting when I was younger. It was a really easy way to make money. All I had to do was sit in my neighbor's house and look after the kids. That was the easy bit because the kids were usually asleep in bed. The parents would give me a lot of money for watching DVDs and eating snacks. When I was even younger, I liked it when my babysitter came round. She would always play games with us and let us stay up late. She would send us to bed just before my parents came home. I know in some countries babysitting isn't so common. It isn't part of the culture. I suppose that's not such a bad thing. I read a lot in the papers nowadays about babysitters hitting the children because they don't sleep. That's really bad. What are your bad habits? I think everyone has bad habits. Not everyone agrees on what bad habits are. Some smokers don't think smoking is a bad habit. Young people don't think listening to loud music on the train is a bad habit. In Japan, slurping your noodles is a sign that you enjoy your food, but making a noise while eating in England is not good. Have you ever tried to break your bad habits? I have quit smoking and have stopped leaving things laying around the house. I wish other people would stop their bad habits. I get annoyed when people are late for meetings or talk loudly on their phones in public. I also think many motorists need to think about their driving habits. Perhaps I should point out their bad habits. I'm not the world's biggest fan of banks. I've had too many bad experiences of them. I really don't know how they can advertise and say they look after you. They don't. Bank charges are way too high, you spend ages waiting to be served, and then they say no if you want a loan. The bank I bank with makes dozens of mistakes with my account. The thing they're best at is making excuses. I'm not at all surprised so many banks did badly in the credit crisis. I hope they change. Bankers get far too much money. All they do is desk work. Banks need to focus a lot more on real customer service. At the moment, banks only offer an excuse for customer service. They don't even offer you a drink when you sit down and open an account. One of my favorite times of the day is bath time. I absolutely love taking a bath. Baths are so much better than showers. Having a bath is the most relaxing thing. There's nothing better in life than sinking into a hot bath and letting the water take away my troubles. A bath really makes you feel great. I especially like taking a bath before going to bed. Bath time is pretty much the only time of the day when you can really pamper yourself. It also means a lot of quality time to yourself. It's perfect for listening to music and reading a good book. The only thing I don't like about bath time is when I fall asleep and the water goes cold, or even worse, when you want a bath and there's no hot water. People say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That means if someone thinks someone else is beautiful, then they are beautiful. I think the idea of beauty is interesting. Why do we think some things or some people are beautiful and others are? Some people think a building is beautiful while others think the opposite. People nowadays spend too much time and money on beauty. I agree with the expression, beauty is only skin deep. This means that what's really important is someone's heart and character, not what they look like on the outside. It's a little strange and unfair that you have to be beautiful to be a top actress or even a newsreader on TV. I think there should be equal rights for most of us non-beautiful people. An American president once said the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. Can't remember which president, but never mind. I think that's an interesting quote. It's so true most of the time. We all spend a lot of time worried or afraid that something bad will happen, and then nothing happens. It is the fear that frightens us, not the thing that might or might not happen. And then there are phobias. Millions of people are afraid of something that the rest of the world thinks is quite normal. How can you be afraid of things like peanut butter? There's actually a fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. Amazing. Fear is sometimes good. It makes us alert and can keep us safe in a dangerous situation. Getting married is one of the happiest days of anyone's life. Being married is also full of happiness, but there are also many difficulties. It isn't always easy to be married. You have to put up with your spouse's bad habits and moods forever. You have to negotiate and compromise on many things, from who's first in the bathroom in the mornings to where you go on vacation. Of course, being married also has many wonderful sides to it. You have a lifelong friend who will love you forever. You share many wonderful times together and support each other through good and bad times. And you grow old together and look back on years of happy memories. I think being married is great for your soul. Being single has its advantages and disadvantages. I think it's better to stay single when you're young. You need to live and have fun. You also need the freedom to do what you want when you want. Being single in your 20s gives you lots of time to go traveling, see the world and experience different things. Most people like being single in their 20s and then want to settle down in their 30s. I think being single later in life can be sad. All of your friends are married or attached and people tend to go out and party less. I think being single when you're old would be very lonely. The longer you stay single, the harder it becomes to settle down. In some countries, people think you're strange if you're single later on in life. Birthdays are brilliant. I'm 62 years old and I still love them. I don't think I've ever had a bad birthday. In fact, I think birthdays get better and better the older you become. Sure, kids love birthdays because they get presents and get to eat cake. But when you get older, birthdays make you feel special. It's your special day. Even if no one wishes you a happy birthday, it's still your special day. A lot of my friends think I'm mad. They hate their birthdays because it means they're another year older. I hope I get to celebrate my 100th birthday. I'm not sure if I can blow out 100 candles though. When I look back at all my birthdays, it's difficult to choose the best. I'll just say my last birthday is always the best one. I hate the sight of blood. Looking at it makes me go all weak at the knees. I can't even look at my own blood, I don't know why. The thing I hate most is giving blood for a medical check. I fainted once after I saw my blood in a small bottle. If I have a nosebleed, I have to sit down for 30 minutes before I feel better. It's impossible for me to watch operations on TV. I wish I could donate blood to others. I can't. I know giving blood is really important, but I'm not brave enough. One thing about blood I do find interesting is blood types. I think your blood type can affect your personality. I know that in some countries, people with blood type A would not be a good romantic match for someone with blood type O. Don't you think books are the best thing in the world? I can't remember a time in my life when I wasn't reading a book. I still have memories of being in my school library when I was about 5 years old. I have been a bit of a bookworm since then. You'll usually see me with my head buried in a book. I love all kinds of books. Novels are great for getting to know other worlds and cultures. A good book is one where you never want the story to end. I also like autobiographies because I think it's interesting to read about people's lives. Encyclopedias are cool too. You can learn everything about everything in these. I still prefer books to the internet. Books need to be in your hand and made of paper. I've never understood bullying. Why do people have to make the life of another person so miserable? Why do they think they have the right to punch and kick someone they think is weaker than them? I was bullied when I was a child. It was a living hell. I was really afraid to go to school for many, many years. I knew I was not safe during break times. It was always a group of bullies that got me in the corridors or on the playing fields. They made me hate school. I know they also changed me for life. I have no confidence now. I'm 32 years old, but I'm afraid to speak up for myself. The school bullies took away my belief in myself. They didn't know that they would scar me for life. The physical scars have gone, but not the emotional ones. Business isn't so good at the moment. In fact, it's the worst time for businesses for decades. Many businesses are going bust because of the global financial crisis. Even sound businesses like the car industry and electronics are going through a really bad time. Many small businesses have gone out of business. It's a real shame because so many lives are being ruined. With a lot of businesses, it's a real fight for survival. I really respect people for trying to make a go of their business. I don't have much business sense. I wouldn't know where to start in opening my own business. I suppose the best thing would be to look at business startups on the internet. An online business might be good. There seems to be less risk. Are you busy? Do you lead a busy life? It seems we get busier and busier in our lives. I hate being busy. I'd much rather have nothing to do. Being busy makes me stressed and I end up making mistakes or forgetting something. Who's the busiest person you know? I bet he or she is really stressed. The busy people I know are always looking ahead to their next holiday, and then in their holiday they are busy doing other things. I think we busy ourselves with too many things. We need to learn to relax and take things slowly. Even at work we have to look busy, even if we're not. When the boss comes we tell our friends, look busy. That's silly. It would be great if the word busy disappeared from the English language. Do you ever think about or worry about the number of calories you eat and drink every day? It's not really something I thought about when I was younger, but now I have to think about my calorie intake. I'm putting on weight and so need to be more careful with what I eat. This is difficult because all of the yummiest food has the most calories. I've found an answer to this problem. If I do lots of exercise, I can eat what I want and not have to worry about calories. I burn off 500 calories when I jog for an hour. This means I can have a pizza and dessert and not feel guilty. I wish there was more information about calories in restaurants. It would make it easier for me to know what to eat and what to avoid. We have to do something about pollution. Even though there are warnings about global warming, companies don't do anything to reduce pollution. Our sky, air, rivers, beaches and countryside are becoming rubbish dumps. The air is so polluted it is giving children breathing problems. Polluted rivers have no fish left in them, and beaches are too dangerous to walk on because of the garbage everywhere. It seems a lot of people don't care. I think there should be big fines for polluters. I don't mind paying more for things if they can be made with less pollution. The problem is that companies are more interested in profits than pollution. We have only just started looking at our carbon footprint. Choosing a career is one of the biggest decisions we make in life. It used to be that we chose only one career. People would start a job when they were 18, 19 or 20 and stay in that same career for life. Their career path was quite straightforward. Nowadays it is normal for people to change careers 5, 6, 7 times. New technology and globalization means things change quickly. We need to study and keep up with all the changes. I've had 4 different careers now. I like moving from one job to another. It means life never gets boring. It's much better to keep learning different things in different careers. I have no idea what career I'll choose next. Perhaps one that doesn't even exist today. Are you into cars? My brother is. He's car crazy. He buys car magazines, watches car programs on TV and spends hours looking at car websites. He knows the name, maker, engine size and top speed of every car on the planet. Every time we go out he talks non-stop about the cars he sees. I like cars. They are interesting. If I had a lot of money I'd like to buy a sports car. I'm saving up for a small car at the moment. I'll probably buy a hybrid car that is good for the environment. My brother thinks these are boring. He says a car should be powerful and fast. I don't agree. I think cars should get you from A to B and be big enough for me and my friends. I also prefer smaller cars because they are easier to park. I love cats because they are independent. They help us relax by letting us pet them. You can play with them too. Making them chase a piece of string or a beam of light is very funny indeed. But a drawback of having a cat is that they can be too talkative. My cat always meows when she wants to eat, and she tries to make us give her our food when we are eating, especially when we are having fish for dinner. On the other hand, owning a cat has its advantages. For example, they catch mice and other small animals. For cats, catching and giving small animals to their owners is a sign of generosity. Sometimes my cat brings animals who are not dead into the house. I really don't like it when she does that. Chickens are so important to many of us because they are a major part of our diet. Every country has so many chicken dishes, and eggs are one of the most common foods around. Chickens are also cute. Well, chickens aren't, but chicks are cute, fluffy chicks that make everyone go "ara." It's strange though that the word chicken is used in so many English idioms. When I was at high school, you couldn't chicken out to not do something because of being scared. Things are different today. I'm no spring chicken. That means I'm no longer young, so no one calls me a chicken anymore. I work now as a teacher. I get chicken feed, low wages, but I like my job. I plan to retire before I'm 50, but I'm not going to count my chickens before they're hatched. This means I won't quit working until I have enough money. Children are angels. Most of the time this is true. I'm very lucky because my 2 children really are the greatest angels. I think I won the children lottery with my kids. I could not have asked for lovelier, happier, sweeter little children. They have brought me endless amounts of joy since the second they were born. Everything they do fascinates me. Everything they say makes me smile. Watching them grow up is my greatest pleasure. In a way, it's a little sad. I always want them to stay the age they're at now. When they were 18 months old, I thought that was the cutest age. I thought the same when they were 2 and then 3 and then 4. I guess however old they are, they're perfect. I wish all the children in the world were as happy as mine. Anyone who does not absolutely love chocolate is mad. I don't think I know anyone who dislikes it. Some of my friends say they hate white chocolate or dark chocolate, but then they like some other kind. I think chocolate is one of the best inventions ever. It is also one of life's true pleasures. There's nothing better than having your whole mouth full of chocolate and letting it melt. I love pushing the chocolate up against the roof of my mouth and then moving it all around. Yum! I eat chocolate every day. I know it's bad for our teeth and makes us fat, but I don't care. I prefer to think about the health benefits of chocolate. I've read many articles that say chocolate is good for us. I think Christmas is one of the happiest times of the year. Everyone has a smile on their face, especially children. It's such an exciting time for kids. They can't wait to open their presents and play with all of their new games and toys. It's a nice time for adults too. They can catch up with their families and relax. Traditionally, the mother of the family is busiest at Christmas. She does most of the Christmas shopping and wraps the presents. Of course, she also spends hours cooking Christmas dinner. Let's not forget the true meaning of Christmas, though. It is not about shopping and Christmas trees and Frosty the Snowman. It's all about love for each other and peace around the world. Let's hope this message stays alive. Climate change is one of the most worrying things for our planet. Many politicians and scientists say it is the biggest danger we face. I read almost every day that climate change is changing the Earth forever. Many species of animal, fish, insect, frog, etc. are dying. The ice caps in the Arctic and Antarctica are melting. Our weather is changing, so places are getting warmer or colder, or are having more and stronger hurricanes. We all need to do our bit so that climate change does not destroy us. It's important to cut down on things that produce greenhouse gases. These warm the planet and change the climate. Doing simple things like turning off lights and recycling paper all help. I have too many clothes. I have many clothes I've only worn once. Sometimes I even find something at the back of a drawer that I never even wore. I bought it, put it away, and then forgot about it. I'm sure I don't need so many clothes. I don't think anyone really needs 11 pairs of jeans and 32 sweaters. I won't tell you how many pairs of shoes I've got. That's way too embarrassing. The simple truth is I love clothes and I love shopping. Maybe I have a problem. I'm sure I'd be a lot richer if I didn't buy so many clothes. I like brands, so the clothes I buy are quite expensive. One day I'm going to have a big clear out. I'll take all the clothes I no longer wear and give them to charity. Scientists and doctors can't make their minds up about coffee. One study says it's really bad for us and the next report says it's good for us. I've even read that 10 cups a day is good for our brain. I like a cup of coffee at certain times of the day. I must have a coffee first thing in the morning. I can't survive without my morning coffee. I have another cup or two when I get to work, and that's it. I never drink coffee after lunchtime. If I do, I can't sleep at night. The only time I drink coffee in the evening is if I go to a nice restaurant. Coffee seems a lot more complicated these days. When I was younger, it was just coffee. Now it's latte, frappuccino, and all kinds of other strange words. It's hard to believe that no one had computers a few years ago. I wonder how people lived. There must have been a lot of paperwork. I can't imagine writing everything by hand. I also wonder how everything worked without computers. We need computers today for everything. Hospitals, airports, the police, nothing can work without computers. I'm sure I'd be 10 times busier than now if I didn't have a computer. Imagine having to find a piece of paper and an envelope, and then walking down the street to mail a letter. I love my computer. It makes everything in my life so convenient. Sure, it freezes and crashes sometimes. Sure, I lose some data, but that's not often. Most of the time my computer is like my best friend. Would you like to change your face and body? Would you like movie star looks? A lot of people want to do this. They pay lots of money to go to a cosmetic surgeon and change their appearance. The most common operation we call a nose job. People who are unhappy with their nose have it reshaped. Other people want their wrinkles to disappear to make themselves look younger. People also go under the knife and have things made bigger or smaller. I think this is a waste of money. I'm not the best looking person in the world, but I would never consider plastic surgery, even if it was free. Some people have so many operations they end up looking like they're made of plastic. I'd rather stay looking human. I wish we didn't need cosmetics. We spend so much time and money on them, and for what? We take them off at night only to put them all on again in the morning. If you think about it, they're amazingly expensive. Why does a lipstick or a small tube of cream cost so much? The really expensive cosmetics don't actually make you look that different than really cheap ones. A lot depends too on your skill, choosing the right colors to match your face, and how you put your makeup on. I sometimes laugh at the ladies selling cosmetics in department stores. They're meant to be experts, but they look like clowns. I mean, do they really need to paint their faces? One thing I worry about is whether the chemicals damage your skin. Many years ago I read that credit cards were the thing of the future. Credit card companies were telling us that plastic would replace cash. Well, this hasn't happened. People are still using notes and coins. The internet has increased the use of credit cards, but many people worry about putting their card details online. Lots of personal info gets stolen by fake sites pretending to be famous banks or online stores. Personally, I love credit cards. I always prefer to pay by card than by cash. When you use your card, you get air miles, and every 6 months you can cash them in for presents. I do worry about credit card security. I keep waiting to see a huge purchase on my statement that I didn't make. Why do we have crime? When will it all stop? It's sad that there is so much crime in our society. It hurts so many people. Most people in the world just want to live happily and be good neighbors. Why do some people turn to crime? Money is a big reason. Many criminals pickpocket, steal, kidnap, or even kill people to get money. There are many terrible crimes in the world. Perhaps the worst is ethnic cleansing. This is a crime against humanity. Many people are killed because of their color or religion. People who commit this crime rarely go to prison. Have you ever been a victim of crime? What do you think we need to do to reduce crime rates? Perhaps you should write to your government. Tell your leaders enough is enough. I'm really interested in the culture of other countries. I don't know why, but I always think other cultures are more interesting than my own culture. Every time I travel, I learn wonderful, strange, amazing, and interesting things about other cultures. One of the biggest surprises I had was when I went to the USA as a child. I'm English, so I thought Americans had the same culture as me. When I went to America, I understood Americans and Brits are very different people. Understanding the culture of other people is very important. It helps us all to get along. If everyone really tried to learn about other cultures, the world would be a more peaceful place. The world is becoming smaller, so I think this is happening. I love the news and current events. I'm addicted to what's happening in the world. It doesn't matter what kind of news it is, I love watching it, even if it's from countries I've never heard of. I'll even watch the same news program 3 or 4 times and not get bored. I guess it's so fascinating because it's real. I get really interested in a story when it breaks, then like to follow it as it unfolds. Following current events makes you quite knowledgeable. I know most of the world's capitals and most of the world's leaders. Watching the news is really looking at history happening now, but you never know what's going to happen next. Every time you turn on the news or read a news story, you'll find something unexpected. The internet can be a scary place these days, especially because of cyberbullying. It's difficult to open a newspaper these days and not see a story about this. It's a really nasty and growing problem. Cyberbullies are real cowards. They hide behind their computer and scare people, send them hate mail or threaten them. Even worse is when they publish pictures of their victims online. I have a friend who had a really bad time at the hands of a cyberbully. He or she spread lots of gossip and lies on the internet. My friend's reputation was badly damaged. A really bad thing is how young cyberbullying starts. Many schoolchildren physically bully others in class and then continue online. Their victim isn't safe anywhere. I don't think people understand cybercrime. It's only just started. In the future, it's going to be a huge problem. There have already been a few amazing examples. A few years ago, the whole internet in Latvia was attacked by another country. Cyberspace has become a new battleground. Countries spy on each other. If there's a war, it's possible one country could attack the other country's internet. This would mean all communication, transport, etc. would stop. It would cause huge damage to hospitals and other important buildings. But cybercrime is happening today to ordinary people. Have you ever heard of phishing? That's with a PH, not F. You really need to be very careful about what information you put online.